Sorry ass DJ.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome back to my Ranking the Victims' Death on the Halloween franchise. I'm on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. We have 7 humans to talk about here. I will not be including any of the humanoids, androids, robots, however you actually want to call them here. I also won't be including Allie, even though she is like the co-lead of this movie here. She gets kidnapped and eventually she becomes a humanoid. And the way that I look at it is that these humanoids can actually die and they could just pretty much bring them back, you know, just restructure the same face and all that, and it's like, oh, they got an extra life like their Super Mario Brothers. If you do want to include the deaths that they do show there, you know, give me a comment down below on the humans, on all the androids, however you want to do it there, or just give me the 7 of the ones that I'm about to talk about here. That'd be perfectly fun. And I'll also be kind of curious what you think about the deaths in these ones here. Okay, let's get ourselves started. Number 7 is going to be a character named Betty. Now, you got Betty, her husband, and her son, and they're actually locked into a room, but they actually don't know right away that they're actually locked in it there. Something actually starts happening to the son, and Betty gets herself off the couch, and she's kind of going close to her son there, and then all of a sudden she just faints. At least that's what I thought it was. So I decided to go on Google and say, how did she die? And according to Google, no matter if they're right or not, they said heart attack. So I'm like, okay, I'm going with that, because if you just faint, you're not really dead. But then with some of the insects and snakes that end up in that room, she eventually probably would have been, you know, eaten alive there or something like that there. So the movie didn't explain it well enough there. So I was like, okay, I think 7th place is good for her. Number 6 is going to be a character named Buddy Sr. Now, after Buddy sees his son and his wife are no longer with him, he runs over to the door. He's trying to open up the door and he realizes, shit, I'm locked in here. So he kind of starts like sidestepping a little bit. And then we actually get a snake that actually jumps and actually bites him in the leg, I think like right below the kneecap there. And then the camera pans out of that room and they're showing the bad guy, showing Dr. Chellis what exactly can happen with these Halloween masks, and of course what happens with the people around them. And Buddy looks at the camera and he just falls over there. But that made a little bit more sense about snake poisoning going through his bloodstream compared to like, okay, did the wife actually faint or what? And of course what Google told me there. So I do enjoy that one slightly better. I still don't really like these bottom 2, but at least the father's a little bit better. Number 5 is going to be Harry. Now Harry's the very first one to die, and also Allie's father. So he's in his hospital bed trying to sleep. You get one of the humanoids that actually come in, and he actually puts his hand over Harry's mouth, and then he kind of does something like he's about to pinch something. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He puts his finger and his thumb in Harry's eyes and actually breaks his skull. So when we get the aftermath, you can tell that it's a dummy. And don't get me wrong, I know that's what they always used to do in the old days and maybe somewhat of movies now. I really did enjoy that one here, because honestly from this one until number 1, I really do like here. So it's like there's not really any particular reason why I have him at number 5. I would just say I just have other ones I like better here. Number 4 is going to be the Bum. Now when it comes to the Bum, he has one of those squeeze cheese containers. I forget exactly what they were, and he's putting it on bread and he's trying to eat it. He comes out of his hut, and we actually have 2 of the humanoids. One's blocking his hut, and the other one's like looking right at him, and the one that he's looking at kind of puts him down on his knees, and of course he's begging for his life. The guy, the humanoid behind the Bum, takes off his hat and I think tosses it to the side there, and the other guy in front grabs the Bum by the head and actually rips off his body, and you can definitely tell, again, practical effects and all that, and the blood's like spitting up in the air like it's a fountain, and I do really like that there. And I think the humanoid just tosses his head, and then the 2 guys look at each other there. Again, if I was talking about the bloodiest or the goriest, this would definitely be number 1 here, but this is still a damn cool death in my opinion. Number 3 is going to be a character named Teddy. She is the coroner and trying to help out Tom Atkins' character of Dr. Chellis, and it actually turns out that she realizes that it wasn't a human that actually burned in there, but I still don't think she was 100% sure, but she looks like car purge. She's on the phone talking to someone about, hey, I need to show you something. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow morning. You get a humanoid that's actually coming from one room into like a little bit of a hallway and into her room. He actually grabs her and he actually goes on top of her, and all you see is like her legs kind of flipping up in the air. He ended up grabbing a drill that wasn't that far from him, and while she's screaming and the drill gets a little very close to her head there, and then they pan back where they just show him on top of her and the legs are still going a little longer than you hear zzz, then all of a sudden the legs just stop there. Even though you don't see it, you just imagine how messed up a drill going into the head would be, and I really do like that there. Top 2, baby. Number 2 is going to be Buddy Jr. So what exactly happened is that you got the TV on, you got the commercial going on, and the mask almost feels like it's starting to squeeze into this kid's head, and he's trying to claw at it here, almost trying to rip this mask off of his face, and then he actually just falls onto the floor, and there's insects, and I think there's snakes coming out of the mask, probably more likely coming out of his head there or out of his mouth, and this was definitely one of the more messed up ones for sure in this one, and I really do like that one. Number 1 is going to be Marge. So the thing is, you got Marge, and she's actually looking at the tag of one of the Halloween masks, and she actually flips it around and she notices a little bit of a chip in it there. So she actually has a bobby pin that she pulls out of her hair, and she starts kind of messing with the chip a little bit, and you get a laser from the chip into her mouth, and then whenever they actually show the aftermath of what this laser did to her, her mouth is open, and it was just it felt like I think that she could still feel pain, because you see her legs actually under the cover moving a little bit, and you get this almost I don't know, I want to say a baby spider that comes out of her mouth and ends up crawling up her face and in her hair there, and I thought, oh, that is another messed up, and every time I watch this movie, I'm always looking forward to that death there. Well, there you folks go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this ranking here. See you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.